that he had learned to listen to every word his wife was saying, said Sophia with a smile. Now go home and listen to every word she isn't saying. It could be. It depends on how you look at it. So the premise of this talk is that one of the greatest gifts that we can give another is our time and our loving attention. And I came across a very sad report about listening. A few years ago, a study of prostitution was done in San Francisco. And during the interview, the young prostitutes were asked, is there anything you needed most and couldn't get? And the response, invariably, preceded by sadness and tears, was unanimous. What I needed most was someone to listen to me, someone who cared enough to listen to me. And I think we take our ability to listen for granted because we never know. You know, somebody on the street is telling us their story, and we might not know that we're the only one that has listened to them that day or that week or that year. And so I invite you to start off to not take your ability to listen for granted. It's a very powerful tool that we have. It's a spiritual practice. And spiritual practices serve to enhance our journey on this path. And so we can listen to ourselves, we listen to our inner wisdom, and of course we listen to other people. And so one of the things to think about is what does our consciousness look like? You know, how do we tell what's going on in our consciousness? And so I have a slide. Think about, this is our attention. Think about this. Our goal is to have free attention. Nothing's pulling on it. We're not thinking about the future. We're not worrying about the past. We're fully present. We're fully present in this moment. And so that's a model that I want you to keep in mind, okay, I'm going to put you into a couple of exercises, and I want you to kind of keep this circle model, okay? Because listening increases our self-awareness. As we listen, we can be paying attention to, whoa, how is my attention? And we can begin to check in with that. When we listen lovingly to someone, it helps them feel safe. Can you remember a time when someone really, really listened to you and how you felt? Can you call it up right now? When you were truly listened to. And think about how that felt. And that's the gift that we can give someone else. We give the gift of our unconditional love. We give the gift of really seeing another person through the eyes of love. Our meditation was about just being love. And so how can we do that? Well, we can free up our attention. So we're going to try a little exercise. And I would like you just, if you're comfortable doing this, fine. And if not, just kind of do it in your head with someone that you're imagining, okay? So pair up with somebody, either in front of you, back of you, or beside you, just real quick. And all I want you to do is, we're moving around. Okay, cool. Again, this is optional. You don't have to do this. This is just optional, okay? So what I'd like you to do is if where you're sitting and you're closer to this side, you're going to go first. If you're doing front and back, the person closer to the back will go first. That'll just help you organize this little exercise. So what I want you to do is just really simple. And we're going to do this simultaneously right now. But just turn to your partner and just smile at them. Just open your heart and smile. Okay, good. Now, close your eyes. Everybody close their eyes. And set an intention to be peaceful. Remember the meditation this morning. Open your heart to a place of gratitude. Call up a loving, loving feeling. Okay, now open your eyes. And the person closest to this wall over here is going to say something, and then I'm going to tell you what to say back to them. Okay, and we've actually done this before. So you're going to say to your neighbor, don't say it yet, I'll tell you when to go. But neighbor 1 is going to say, I'm here to be seen. And then neighbor 2 will respond, and I see you. And then neighbor 1 will say, and I'm here to be heard. And neighbor 2 will say, and I hear you. And then we'll switch roles. Everybody follow what we're doing? Okay, so neighbor 1, you know what you're supposed to do? You're here to be what? And? Okay, neighbor 1, go. I'm here to be heard. Okay, pause. Pause. Very good. Now just notice, if you were the listener, notice what that was like for you. Were you able, as you were listening, were you able to kind of keep your circle open? Just notice, okay? Okay, now switch roles and do the same thing. So if you were the listener, you're now the talker. And go. Okay. And just notice how that was. Okay. Were you able to keep your attention mostly free? Okay. And the other piece of this is if you're the talker, you're daring to be a little vulnerable. And that's another important piece of this equation, is allowing ourselves to be a little vulnerable, allowing ourselves to be a little open and to share. Okay. So did you notice anything trying to creep in to your circle? Okay, just go to the next slide. See the X's? The X's are the things that try to grab the mic in our free attention. So the X's are, I tripped over the curb this morning. The X's are, somebody spilled coffee on my new dress. The X's are, oh man, what's going to happen with work tomorrow? There's all kinds of things that come up that start to invade that wonderful, perfect circle of our intention, okay? And so the idea is, can we be self-aware enough to begin to notice what's trying to grab the mic? What's trying to grab our attention and go, hey, pay attention to me, feel this feeling, think this thought, do this thing, right? And so close your eyes again. Take a deep breath and relax. And just notice where your attention's going. What's trying to grab the mic? Is it your to-do list? A recent interaction? Anticipation of a future event? Is there some feeling that's constantly running in the background? And if there is, does it have a name? Are there thoughts or self-talk that are generated by that feeling? Okay, bring your awareness back to present time. And imagine you're erasing those circles. Just in your mind's eye, erase the little marks in your circle. And open your eyes and bring your attention back to present moment. Be fully present in this moment. Okay? Are you able to be fully, are you here? Are you back? Is everything okay? So did you notice some stuff that was trying to grab? Okay, so that's the key to this exercise. The key to this talk is being so aware that I notice when things are grabbing my attention. I notice when words are coming out of my mouth and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I think before I speak, I think before I act, because I notice what's trying to grab my attention. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our pairs, and you could also do a trio if you want. If pairs aren't working, you could do a trio. But this is also optional. You don't have to do this exercise. You can just listen and notice, and then try this exercise at home if you would like. So you're going to pair up, and again, the person over here closest to this side is going to go first, or if you're back in front, the person in the back is going to go first. And when you're the listener, your job is just to do that, just to open up your circle and just be fully present. Open your heart, okay? And just create this little bubble of love for the person with whom you are listening, okay? And talker, you're going to talk just for maybe a minute about something that's going well in your life. This is just a practice of keeping our awareness in present time. So talker, you're giving your listener practice. That's what this is. This is listening practice, okay? So if you're the talker, remember raise your hand if you know you're the talker. Okay, good. Okay. So you're going to call up something that's going well in your life, okay? And just talk about that. And then give your if you can, arrange yourselves so that you're face to face, if that's comfortable, okay? And then just, when I say go, talker, talk about something that's going well in your life. Are you ready? And listener, you're just listening. Pretend you have a piece of duct tape over your mouth, okay? And just listen. But you can go, acknowledge, but don't jump in. Notice, but you could also notice when you want to jump in, okay? And go. Okay, pause. So just get quiet for a sec. Both of you close your eyes. And if you were the listener, did anything, just reflect on that experience. Did anything try to grab the mic? Was there anything trying to knock on the door? And if it was, were you successful at sort of getting it, flicking it away? Okay, excellent. Okay, and if you were the talker, how did it feel? How did it feel to be just a little bit vulnerable in talking to somebody that you may or may not know well? How was that? Just kind of notice that. Okay, good. So now we're going to switch roles. If you were the talker, you're going to listen. And remember, if you're the listener, put your imaginary duct tape on. Okay? Imagine you're just listening. And ready and go. Okay, pause. Close your eyes. And now again, notice if you were listening as the listener, was there anything trying to grab the mic? How was it? Was there anything that you had to be like, no, don't say that? Or were you able to really keep yourself mindful and present? And if you were speaking, how did that feel? Were you able to articulate something? Were you able to dare a little bit to share? Okay, you can open your eyes. So this is just a little spiritual practice that you can use in your life. In the class that I taught in the spring, we would take up to 10 minutes each way. It's an exercise called a think and listen. So when you really need help thinking about something, when you really need help figuring something out, this think and listen exercise is very helpful. And you train your partner to just listen to you, because what we're holding for the person with whom we're listening is their wholeness, their intelligence, their completeness, their creativity. We're holding out the very highest and best for them and with them. That's the other half of this equation, is we're listening so well that we're creating a space for them of knowing they got this. And my experience with this exercise is it always works. Whenever I'm having a hard time and I just grab somebody and they listen to me, I'm looking at Jeannie because she and I have practiced this before. And I just, like, the lights come on because I know she's holding with me that I'm going to figure this out. And I always do. And so I invite you to take this think and listen home and practice it. And you'll find that your perspective will start to get wider about the challenges in your life. Because I'm firmly convinced that there is an elegant solution to all of the challenges that we encounter. And this is just a very small spiritual practice that you can take back and just intentionally practice it. Practice intentional listening with each other. Practice intentional listening with the lady in the checkout line. You know, why don't we always strike up conversations? Can we be intentional about that? Can we be open and loving? Can we hold knowing with our neighbors that they're going to get this, that they're going to figure it out? Okay? And as I finish up, there's a great quote by Brene Brown. Talk to yourself like you would talk to someone you love. So the piece of this is, as we become more self-aware, we're aware of how we talk to ourselves and about ourselves. What comes out of your mouth in everyday conversation when you talk about your physical body? when you talk about your health, when you talk about your finances, when you talk about your family. Start noticing what's coming. How are you talking? How are you using your words? That's another piece of this awareness, the spiritual practice of being awareness of how do I use my words for myself and for others. And then finally, we listen to our inner wisdom. We listen to our knowing. We get to that place where we know that we know that we know. We go to that still, small place. So close your eyes. Take another deep breath. And call up something that feels a little challenging. And ask yourself, what do I know about this? What do I know deep in my heart, in every fiber of my being? What do I know? What do I know is true? Put your hand on your heart. And just to yourself, once again, what do I know? What is the truth that I know? Now take a deep breath. And as you breathe out, say, ah, ah. Find the ah. Our wisdom is that ease. Our wisdom is that love. Our ah. Okay, you can open your eyes. And just remember, I know that I know that I know. We listen to other people. We open our heart. We give the love that is ours. We give the attention that is ours. We notice what's trying to grab the mic. We listen to how we talk about ourselves. We listen to how we talk about other people. And finally, we listen to our ah. That place, that deep place of knowing and connection and love. We know that we know that we know. And so we're ready to just say together, ah. Very good, very good. Okay, let's affirm together, resoundingly. One of the greatest gifts I have to give is my loving attention. And so it is. Thank you.